Alright, so let's start off with a relatively simple one. Let's say we're trying to multiply 46 times 23, something like that. Alright, so how I would kind of go about doing this, if I were trying to do this in my head, is I'd start off, I'd look at the tens place. So we do 40 times 20. Alright, and then we're going to multiply whatever is in the tens place in the first column by whatever is in the ones place on my second number here. Alright, so we're going to do 40 times 3. And then we're going to do whatever is in the tens place on my second number, multiply it by the ones place in my first number. So 20 times 6. And then finally we're going to take whatever is the one in the ones place of both my numbers and we're going to multiply those together. Alright, so we have 6 times 3. Alright. So when we do all that, I'm going to kind of work from right to left because we're going to end up doing some carrying, so it kind of makes sense a little bit later here. Alright, so for this first one, so we have 18. For this one, we have 120. For this one, we also have 120. That's convenient. And then for this one, we have 800. Alright, so then we just add all those together. So here we're going to end up with 8, and then we have an extra 10 here, so we're going to move that over to the tens place here. So we have 20 plus 20 plus 1, or 20 plus 20 plus 10, my apologies. So that would end up being 50. And then we have these two hundreds, which are going to move over to the hundreds column here. So we have 8 plus 800 plus 100 plus 100, so that's going to be 1058, which, if I break out my calculator, and my calculator is dying, alright, good to know, 46 times 23. We end up with 1058, which is exactly what we got there. Alright. So what the line multiplication is doing is it's just kind of another way to visualize this step here. Alright, so you start off with your first number. So we have a 4 in the tens place, so my tens place is going to go on top. I'm just going to draw 4 lines here. Alright, and then we have a 6 in the ones place, so the ones place is going to go on the bottom, so I'm just going to draw 6 lines on the bottom here. 2, 3, and now I'm thinking I probably should have picked smaller numbers. 4, 5, 6. Alright, and my second number, that's going to be the vertical lines here. Alright, so the tens place has 2, so I'm going to draw 2 lines for my tens place. Alright, and then my ones place has 3. I'm going to draw 3 lines for my ones place here. Alright. So where the lines intersect, I'm just going to put a couple dots there just to make it a little bit more easier for me to kind of visualize here. I'll try to go fast to hopefully absorb some of the awkward silence, but failing miserably to do so. Alright, and then I'm also going to label these based upon whether they're in the tens column or the ones column of my different numbers here. So this represents my tens column of my first number, so I'm just going to call that 10 sub 1. This is my tens column of my second number, so I'm just going to do a sub 2 there. This is my ones column of my first number, so I'll just call this 1 sub 1. Alright, and this is the ones column, my second number, so I'll just call that 1 sub 2. Alright, so when we take 1 times 1, we're going to end up with a ones. So in our ones place, this represents the multiplication. So when I take the ones place times the ones place, this is going to be the ones place of my answer. Alright, when I take the ones place times the tens place, so this is going to be part of my tens place for my answer here, because 1 times 10 will give me 10 there. Similarly, here I have the tens place times the ones place, so this is going to be another part of my tens place for my answer there. So those two are kind of together. Alright, and then when I take the tens place times the tens place, this is going to be the hundreds place for my answer. Alright, so then you just count up the dots. So in the ones place, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright, so we have 18 for our ones place. And then in the tens place, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Alright, so that's 24, but this is in my tens place, so that's going to be 24 times 10. Alright, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, and that's in my hundreds place, because again, multiplying the tens place times the tens place, so that gets me the 800 there. Alright, so again, we're doing kind of the same thing up here. So we have 800, 120 plus 120, that gets me the 240, and then we still have the 18 there. So when you add all those together, again, you end up with 1058. So again, just kind of another way to visualize kind of this whole notion of the place value there. Another way to kind of visualize it that most people, at least in America, are kind of used to. Yeah, I know you're dying. Alright. So again, if we have 46 times 23, we can think of that. So we can draw kind of some blocks here. So we have 40 and 6. And we have 20 times 3. Excuse the crudity of this model, it's not drawn to scale. But yeah, so you take 20 times 40, so that gets you 800. So this big block represents your hundreds place. These blocks represent your tens place, so 30 times 40 is 120, 120. And then the smaller block here represents your ones place. Which 3 times 6 is 18. Which again, you'd add all those together, you end up with 1058. So again, just kind of another way of visualizing kind of what this whole notion of place values and different things like that has to do with the math there. Yeah, hopefully that kind of helps clear a little bit of why it actually works, why you would do it. Again, some people are just kind of more visual, so it's just kind of, like you said yesterday, a little bit more of a visual representation of what's going on behind the scenes. And if you can't find 46 packages of 23 M&Ms each, and you don't have time to count out the 1058 M&Ms, it might be a little bit easier to use one of these tools to help teach that. And again, with the rampant obesity, they're probably trying to get away from that. So I guess we can all be happy that we lived in a time where you could actually eat your math. But unfortunately, that's not necessarily the case anymore. So yeah. So again, something that I just kind of thought of as I was sitting around this morning. So yeah, hopefully find that a little bit helpful. Hope you have a great day. All right, bye.